thank you so much for joining us today during GEW Action, the aerospace industry. Today's topic is a bit different as we are going to discuss on a global and quite a heavy topic with a strong focus, of course, on the local ecosystem, more specifically Selangor. For your information, ladies and gentlemen, Selangor is the only state in the country which houses 62% of the 230 aerospace companies. And I guess this year as well, Selangor has also produced a 10-year action plan to make Selangor as the regional hub of the industry, which focuses on 5 main pillars today. So together with us today is Mr. Jamie Haniff Ramlee, Director of Selangor Darul ASEAN Aerospace Industry Coordination Office, or better known as SDICO. How are you doing, Mr. Jamie?
I'm well, Doc. Thank you so much for having us. It's a pleasure being here.
No worries, no worries. Thank you so much for joining us as well, Jamie. So, Jamie, perhaps we can start by you telling us about yourself as well as the role of the center. And I think you have a slide as well to show to us as well.
Yes, I do. Well, I'm still having some technical problems. I can't seem to see anyone, nor yourself, nor can I share my slides.
You need to change the viewing perhaps on the Zoom.
This is the problem with technology.
If you look at the screen, it's on your top on the right side. Yeah.
Okay, top to my right side, yeah.
The share screen is actually on the bottom. It's in the green color.
Oh, there we are. Okay. All right. So thank you so much for having me, and it's a pleasure being here. Let me just, how do I put this? Doc, how do I put in my slides, yeah?
You just click share screen, choose the slides, and then choose the window, and then you can just play directly the slides.
I don't see it.
So when you click share screen, you can choose the screens you want to show.
Share screen, yes.
Okay, and then you click the screen. So I guess.
All right, I got it. Okay.
Yeah, once you have clicked it, you need to go back to the So once you click it, you go back to the app, which is PowerPoint, and play it from there.
No, I can't find it, Doc.
You cannot find or you cannot share on the screen. Hello? Hello? There might be some technical glitches, guys. So sorry. I'm trying to get connected back to Jamie. There might be some connection error on that side. Okay, I'm just texting and trying to get back connected to Jamie back. Ladies and gentlemen, don't worry, you'll just stay with me for a while. Trying to get Jamie back. All right, okay, Jamie is here now.
Oh, sorry.
No worries, Jamie. Are you okay there?
Yeah. So I click share screen, yeah?
Yep.
By saying host disabled participants screen sharing.
Ah, I see.
You disabled my. Sorry, mate.
Just give me a second. I'm going to enable the share screen for you.
Technology.
Just give me a second here. I'm trying to figure out this as well.
No worries.
More.
Ah, okay.
Okay, are you able to do that?
Ah, there we are. Yep.
All right, okay, cool.
There we are. Now we're in business.
All right, apology everyone for the technical error just now.
No worries. At least we learned some. Thank you so much, Doc. It's always been a pleasure supporting Jen. I think from the state side, I think we're happy to actually say that even though this pandemic and such stuff, aerospace is still key at heart. Though borders are shut, it's affecting how business is done by across aerospace, but then, innovation works well. Yeah. So looking into cargo, UAV, space, look at SpaceX, looking at how many launches they're doing in a week, etc. stuff. So that shows aerospace is moving, and then you got the drone business coming up, etc. stuff in overseas. So I'll hit a little bit of those sides as well, and then maybe a little bit. Then we'll give it. We'll go into something else. Yeah. So my name is Jamie. I've been with Invest Selangor for the last 4 years, and I'm now in charge of. I've always been handling trading investment. That's always been my core since my day one. But now I've just been I'm now currently looking into aerospace for the state, and there's a reason why the state of Selangor, which is located in Malaysia, is currently looking into aerospace. Because 65% of all the aerospace activities is actually held and actually it's within the state of Selangor. Yeah, so you're talking about tier 1 companies like Spirit, Senior Aerospace, etc. stuff, and Collins, etc. They are located in the state of Selangor. Yeah. We're talking about airports. We have 2 of the major airports right now. And we got a city airport, which is in Subang, which maybe a majority of you have maybe landed there previously, as well as KLIA. Yeah. So these are the 2 major airports. And again, we have a major airport. The ecosystem surrounds the airport together with the businesses. When we had Malaysian Airlines, and Malaysian Airlines is still around right now. The businesses and the ecosystem was supporting the Malaysian airport, Malaysian Airlines, as well as the Malaysian Air Force. Yeah, so TUDM, our Royal Malaysian Air Force, has always been supported by that ecosystem around it, etc. stuff. So that's in a nutshell why the importance, etc. stuff are bringing in. Invest Selangor is a one-stop center. We look into the trade and investment for the state. So anything that's coming in and out of Selangor is something that we look into, especially onto aerospace. Yeah. So if I may go into my slides, I'll give you a little bit of introduction. Why invest into Selangor? I'll hit a little bit of our action plan, potentials in Selangor aerospace, and we'll have some questions, Q&As from there as well. Yeah. SDICO, who are we? Yeah. Invest Selangor is a one-stop agency that provides information. We advise, we consult, anything to do with expansion or even as early as startups. Yeah. And then SDICO is a division under Invest Selangor. We are very new. We were just launched in March of this year. And till today, we are getting the awareness and the positioning right now as well. Yeah. So I think we're looking into both the localized companies, the local companies, which we have a good fair number of them, and we can be very, very surprised on what they can actually go and do. We have companies that are doing manufacturing of the key bone, or I would say the tune fork for the Rolls-Royce engines, the Trents. You know, we got companies that are doing parts of the wing of the A320 family. You know, so all those things are being done and manufactured here in Malaysia. You know, so we should be very, very proud on how we are and how far we have gotten, etc. stuff. Yeah. Okay. Again, this gives you a little bit of insight and such stuff we are. We are actually also the council. We actually head the council with the secretariat for the Aerospace Council chair, which is chaired by the Chief Minister of Selangor himself. Yeah. We also coordinate the development of aerospace projects through the 30 action items, which are the key initiatives in the Selangor Action Plan. Yeah. Okay. Why invest in Selangor? As I mentioned just now, we have two major airports, Kilai A as well as Subang Airport. We're within 5 hours or more, a little bit, from any Asian countries. Yeah. 10 or more, hours to major world cities from Kilai A. We have an ecosystem that will comprise of aerospace and aviation related companies. Institutions of higher learning, we have the highest number. In the whole of Selangor, we have 162 institutions of higher learning, from major university brands, international brands such as Nottingham, Xiamen University, to local international brands such as Monash, etc. stuff. And the top 4 universities reside in Selangor as well, which is University Malaya, UKM, UPM, and etc. Yeah, so these are things. That's another thing that we're quite good at, and such stuff. We have the talent. Talent is actually no brainer. It's readily available within the state of Selangor. And again, we also have a 10-year action plan. We are the only state that actually does have an action plan. It was actually from 2020 to 2030. This action plan supports the federal or the main government in looking into areas of development, which is their blueprint, I would say. So this works out very well, because the thing is, we need to be synced with the federal government. And I think that shows how relevant and why the importance and why strategically we need to be in line with the federal government to ensure that all these things are looking into. And I'll touch a little bit of the action plans of what the key areas are, etc. Yeah.
So would you
next slide shows you.
Hello, Jamie.
I'm sorry. Yes, I will.
Would you be explaining to us as well how the state blueprint will complement with the federal aerospace blueprint as well?
Yes, I will be. Yes, there will be a little bit touching and such stuff. Yeah. So again, the ecosystem that we have right now is, as we can look here, is everything from drones. We're really looking into drones. We may have a dedicated area for drone testing and such stuff within the state by next year. Institutions of higher learning and training, apprenticeship programs. This is something that we're looking into right well. Next year in April, we will be hosting the first Selangor Aviation Show, which will be targeted towards business jets, general aviation, as well as helicopters. The reason why we're doing this is because most of the activities and such stuff that we're trying to promote in this region are actually pertaining to business jets. Yeah, during MCO, the limited movement, etc. stuff, a lot of the businesses have actually been going and approaching on business jets. So there's like time sharing of business jets, etc. stuff. And believe it or not, renting a whole business jet is much cheaper than actually flying on first class, for example. Yeah. So I think this is another opportunity that we're looking into. So hint, hint, look into time sharing of business jets. All right. So I'll touch then a little bit of the action plan. Yeah. So this action plan was actually carved into several areas that we're looking with that we are looking into. Yeah, the federal government's looking into training, coming up with talent, where the talent going into, etc. stuff. What kind of businesses are we going to, etc. stuff, and that's how we're promoting it. And that's how we are complementing, etc. stuff. So the key objectives are looking into geography, aligning, etc. positioning, Subang, Sepang, and Serenda as our key, or as our chief minister likes to position it, the 3S. Yeah, this is where we would like to concentrate, where most of the activities, the aerospace or aviation businesses or activities should be positioned, etc. That's also aligned with the federal government's promotion as well, but they take into a bigger picture as well. Market or product sectors, definitely we're looking into the subsectors that can we actually win or quick wins towards the new markets that can actually be brought in. For example, right now, we're not just looking to MRO, we're looking to innovation. Yeah, innovation, etc. stuff. The wing of the future, the biofuels, for example. I would say drones. How would drones be the next in thing coming into Malaysia, etc. stuff? On how can we use the services, etc. Expand on the services, for example. Space, for example. Space recently. I know Musti is now planning together with MISA to have this next movement on space development in Malaysia as well. And this is something that's really important as well, because the positioning of where Malaysia is, according to where the equator is, etc. stuff, that's another importance, etc. stuff. Positioning Malaysia as the development of small micro satellites, which is not more than 10 centimeters by 10 centimeters. The size of a mobile phone, for example. Yeah, you have to have precise, skills and developments and such stuff to be able to do that. Keeping up also, you're not just about coming up with a satellite, but you're about the tools and the skills that's needed to come up with the satellite as well. Yeah, so all these things, etc. stuff. And in other things as well, I think the airships, for example, are going to make definitely a comeback again. And what I like about aerospace, etc. stuff, all the technology that goes into aerospace goes into the other areas as well. You're talking about trains, the technology goes into trains and aerospace. There will always be a spillover to these aspects. Yeah, and the simplest thing is like composites. The composites run from the planes. If it can withstand and be used on the plane, it can also be used on the car. So our sports cars are getting lighter and such stuff because of using the composites. Yeah, so that's why that ecosystem and that bigger outer circle, etc. stuff actually promotes that in a better way, etc. stuff. So that's one good thing about it. And you're talking about a heads-up display where you go into the cockpit, etc. stuff. All the information, etc. stuff, also is on your heads-up display, etc. stuff. And that's where the next evolution of technology is going into, etc. stuff. And again, it's something else. It's like electricity. It's like E&E type of things, etc. So all these things are just aligned there, etc. stuff. Yeah. So this is what gives you a good view. This gives you a little bit of what we're looking into in another summary. Definitely, we're looking into infrastructure. Infrastructure is very, very important for aerospace. It's not just about having the right runway. It's all about having a conducive environment for you to be able to operate from and work on from as well. Looking to regulations, definitely, we want to enable regulations to be easier to do business, easier to actually run an aerospace company within Malaysia. For example, like experimental aircraft, general aviation, etc., helicopters, etc. stuff. You got to balance it out with innovation, new technologies, and aerospace. So this is where we want to play that part, and that's how we're trying to balance it across. And definitely market access. Market access, we're not just bringing in the FDIs or the OEMs, etc. stuff. We want to bring out our companies. Definitely want to have positioning for our companies abroad, etc. Other initiatives, etc. stuff, which will be looking into talent, etc. stuff and all this. Education and training, we feel that our talent is vital.
Yeah.
When you don't have the right skills, you don't have the right tools, etc. stuff, this is where we fall behind. So we have worked out some things with like GE, General Electrics for the engines. So we have had 2 development classes for apprenticeships. We hope to have more of this with Airbus and also with British. Our talent is key. Our talent is always being key in etc. stuff, because this is what's marketing and positioning Malaysia. Yeah, and the whole world knows our talent because of that. Yeah, funding. Definitely, if you don't, I believe the budget, the 2021 budget that was announced by the Honorable Minister of Finance, etc. stuff, did highlight a little bit of incentives and grants, etc. stuff for the aerospace industry. I hope many will take an opportunity about this. And you know, the aerospace industry is not just about planes. You know, it's not just building a plane, etc. stuff. You need to have the ingredients. The ingredients to make a plane, etc. stuff, is more than just coming up with a composite of a plane. You know, it's the E&E part of it. It's about the software. Believe it or not, the A380 or A350 right now is 100% about all software, fly-by-wire, etc. stuff. All these technology, even to the point of the heads-up display, the TV that you watch on the plane, in your flight, etc. stuff. These are all the things that we need, you know. Specialized lighting, you know, etc. stuff. Fittings, for example, furniture. That's something that we would like to have positioned in Selangor as well, the next things. And again, incentives which the federal government has really highlighted, and that's how we're promoting it, etc. stuff. Yeah. Okay. So this gives you another sub-verticals across everything else. All the action plans are available online. You can actually look at when you Google up or check or you search for the heading of Invest Selangor, you will find the you can actually download the action plans. Yeah, so please, etc.
Hello? Hello? Do we have another technical error, ladies and gentlemen? Just give us a second. Trying to connect back to Jamie.
Sorry.
No worries. We are back.
Okay. Sorry. Okay. So, the definition of aerospace or aerospace etc. stuff is not just about including aircraft. We're talking about the commercial aircraft, undertaking defense.
The slides.
Yeah.
Because you just log off just now.
Sorry.
No worries.
Okay. So definition etc. stuff is not just about the OEMs, which is Airbus and Boeing. You know, definitely, but the ecosystem behind it, etc. stuff. So you're talking about maintenance, you're talking about repair, you're talking about overhaul, or we call it as MRO. Even the tools or the equipment behind servicing the aircraft, pulling the aircraft, the aero bridge, you know, etc. stuff. Drones, UAV, space, etc. stuff. That shows how big the market is for aerospace. You know. So you're not just limited to just creating that, yeah.
And I guess we have nearly 200 companies here for the OEM, for the aerospace, if I'm not mistaken. Hello.
Hello. Sorry about that.
You're back.
I'm sorry about that. I don't know what's right. Anyways, true, etc. stuff. this is how big the market is and such stuff, our aerospace market. In 2019, the aerospace market, which was about valued at 342.4 billion. And that's a really, really big market, and it's increasing over time. We are hit by the pandemic. Pandemic has brought it down a little bit more, but as I put in my other slides, etc. stuff, expected to decline 342.4 billion in 19 to 332.3 billion in 2020. But this is due because of the outbreak, I would say the COVID-19 outbreak, yeah. But from 2021 to 2022, it would expect to grow. Yeah, once the borders are open and such stuff, we would be able to get the markets back. Yeah, people will always want to fly. We are so bored sitting behind the computer and not being able to move. We enjoy our holidays, so we want to go to Bali, we want to go to Australia, we want to go back to UK. Yeah. So definitely these are things and such stuff that we will always be looking forward to and such stuff. But the in thing right now has always been about cargo. Yeah, so cargo has had a big increase. So a lot of the older aircraft from the 737-800s to the 747s are being converted to cargo. Yeah, and that shows real well that cargo needs to be sent over quickly, safe, and needs to be in someone's hands by end of today. And it's not about it shows real well the evolution of the internet, and it shows about how we want to be able to get into cargo as well. Yeah. So that shows how quick we want our products to be in such a stuff. And it was proven because of the COVID-19 and such a stuff. When we need the masks, everything was coming out from Malaysia and such as the masks, the gloves and such a stuff, the PPE suits and such a stuff were coming out from Malaysia, and it was all air flown. It was all sent by cargo and such a stuff. Again, business jets were big pickup. Helicopters was another big pickup as well and such a stuff. The services from petroleum, oil and gas, and such stuff. Military and defense have always been on the highest demands and such stuff. That has always kept the demand going and such stuff. And again, the news of internet, the news of what you call drones, yeah, looking after our borders and such stuff. Yeah. Anyways, this is just a little bit of current market outlook. That's from Boeing and such stuff. I believe I will share these slides across. You will be able to look into it better, yeah, etc. And then again, another commercial outlook, etc. These are the areas that we're looking into. We're not just looking at engines. You're looking at fins. You're looking at everything, even to the point of building and servicing in the tarmac as well.
Right.
I wanted to highlight this one on the left, which was on the market share for top defense builders and such stuff. I mean, look at it, etc. stuff. It's a big market because the other side of the market is still big. Yeah, it's still not controlled by just one. Yeah, etc. 3D printing market. That's the in thing that's going to be happening soon. Plastics are going to be the in thing, especially right now. Nano. We are looking at nano. How safe are we to be able to fly these days? Yeah, etc. And then the market value, etc. stuff, orders, jet orders that were done, etc. stuff. So I want to share that across, etc. And then the future. What do we say about the future? Airbus we're looking into right now is cheap, electric, hydro, 3D printing, wing of the future, etc. The easier you can bend and such stuff, the more you can travel. More passengers, etc. stuff, more freight that can actually be taken on it, etc. stuff. Biofuel, that's another one, etc. stuff. These are all the in things that we're looking into. And as the countries are getting even more concerns about environmental, this is where it's coming into, especially on noise. And that's the next evolution, and the LEAP engines, right, it's coming out right now, etc. stuff by GE, Pratt & Whitney, etc. stuff. These are it's amazing what we're looking into right now, etc. stuff. Yeah. So that's just a little bit of gist and etc. stuff. I think I'm open to any questions and see how we can go from there.
Yeah, there is another question actually, Jamie. With the current political instability, pandemic, as well as change in the flying behavior, do you think this is something that Selangor will ever materialize? And what are the things that Selangor is currently doing to overcome the challenges?
I think we're working with the associations, as well as position in marketing across. There are three factors here, and I would say three approaches that we've done right now. Yeah, one is working with the federal governments. Definitely, the federal government is looking for incentives, looking into the regulations, rules and regulations that needs to be relaxed or looked into, and such stuff, and as well as training. Yeah, we have to make sure that training is always on the rise and keeping up with the current trends. Yeah. Secondly, and such stuff, and the most importantly is actually keeping up with the trends and the in things and listening to what the industry is looking for or crying for. Yeah. A lot of the OEMs and such stuff are felt they report to the main HQ. Yeah. And definitely it doesn't help when everybody else in this region is saying, hey, I can actually offer you better if you move your operations to my country, for example, Indonesia or Vietnam, etc. stuff. You know, so we're always competing against that. Communication is key in this manner. So I believe we've always been communicating with MIDA, MITI, with NICO, which is the national thing, working with the associations such as Maya, keeping up with the current memberships and such stuff, and having these debates over and over again. Aerospace is the next in thing because it's always the highest demand. Yeah. Even though a lot of the OEMs or the companies were letting go of their engineers, the engineers' jobs because in align with automotive, you know, so that shows the skills and such stuff are almost identical, but the discipline is there because you've got a live aircraft and such that has to be flown and flying and such stuff. So communicating with these counterparts, our counterparts and our partners and such stuff is very key. We have weekly or daily virtual calls with Boeing and Airbus and Bombardier and such stuff, or key players and such stuff, and keeping up with them and such, because every day something changes. Honestly, something changes every day. You know, even like business jets, ASBA is the Asian Business Jets Association. They have a demand right now that due to closure of borders and such stuff, definitely planes can't fly. So there's space limitation, you know. So space limitations for like countries such as Hong Kong, Philippines, and such stuff, where they need to have their planes flown somewhere and such stuff. Philippines right now with their floods and the hurricanes, you know, we are open. We have the best weather. Though we have the rain, we have the monsoon and such stuff, but we still have the best weather. And the skills are still here. And the key point here, we are still cheap. We are still much cheaper and such stuff compared to the rest. Yeah. So our dilemma has always been trying to get out there. You know, trying to get the word out that, you know, Selangor, hey, Selangor is open. Hey, come talk to us, and such stuff. Listen to what we have, etc. These are things, yeah. But with every trade investment that comes in, you have that dilemma of the investment. I mean, how can we pull that investment or investor back into Malaysia?
But does it really affect though?
Yeah.
When there was also some studies saying that international traveling won't recover until 2024. Would that affect as DICO's plan, the destination that you have at the moment?
Yes, it will be. No doubt, it will delay a little bit of some of the things.
Hello? Hello, Jamie, are you still there? All right. Sorry, Jamie, the answer to the question just now.
Sorry.
No worries.
Yes, definitely there will be some delays. Definitely there'll be, but there's always a good side to it as well. Yeah. Major OEMs and such stuff have to change the way they do business. Yeah. So definitely they're trying to cut costs. They're looking into better markets, which will have a better ecosystem or a better support system, etc. stuff. And that has worked out well for us. Yeah. So we'll be promoting it across and saying that, hey, you know, Selangor is your place to be it. We have this trust services sectors that will help you to do that, to convert your business over here, etc. stuff. Ringgit still being lower compared to the rest, etc. stuff has been a big pool. Say, for example, right now in the UK right now, hiring a marketeer that you're paying about £10,000 equals to about 50,000 ringgit here in Malaysia, you know. So that you can even hire 5 people for instead of 1 person and such stuff. So that equilibrium has worked out very well as well. And the cost of doing business here is not too bad as well. Our cost of electricity, our land, compared to the likes of in the UK and the US and such stuff is there. Yeah. But you're talking about talent, we are top notch. We're talking about productivity, we're top notch. Our internet, okay, we can still question about that, you know. But the rest and such stuff, we still have those ticks. You know, we still meet all those ticks and such stuff. Yeah. So it's an open market, I guess, you know, but hopefully next year we'll still be able to tell what happened next. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So at the moment, Jamie, what are your immediate KPIs or goals or quick wins that you want to achieve actually?
Well, this opportunity, this year, we've been mostly targeting at creating the awareness. Yeah. So we've been marketing ourselves in countries such as Europe, Asia, as well as the Americas as well. Yeah. So key areas that aerospace is big and big and high. We've definitely been talking to the OEMs and such stuff, and promoting them and trying to get their engagement and such stuff. I know the first few months for the OEMs such as Airbus and Boeing and such stuff, and also the tier 1 companies, was what's going to be next. You know, it was a wait and see type of scenario. You know, so they were waiting. They were going to see what's going to happen next and such stuff, and we had to play that ball as well. I think also we had to make sure that, you know, we were ready to actually get them in the next round and such stuff. But it's worked out well. I believe next year we will be able to get some of these investors to come in. We are getting our SMEs ready, our local SMEs for the next jobs or work that's coming in, and that requires us to reskill them. We have to reskill the workers. We have to reskill them in terms of how to use the new machines that's coming in, you know. And definitely these are things. The aircraft and such stuff are not. There's not anything 777X, you know. But the rest of the work and such stuff is still going to be same. So we still need to reskill them. You still got to get the new machines in, and we're ready to go. Yeah. So we're ready.
Understood. And Jamie, we have another question from Haziq, and I think Haziq is actually an aerospace fan.
Yeah.
So Haziq asked, NASA itself spent more than $22 billion per year on its programs. Anyways, Selangor can ever match that.
No, there's no way. But maybe down in the future, yes, definitely. We have to understand how big the States is and how NASA is. Yeah. So, but let's start small. I believe mostly will be taking up that thing. But definitely the state will support the space endeavor. Yeah. So that's the first thing we'll do.
Yeah. Another question.
Good question.
From Haziq, yeah, I think he's a NASA fan. Another question, actually, Jamie.
Yeah.
Well, when you talk about aerospace, the World Economic Forum, you know, recommends for the industrial players to go beyond the budget and time by adopting what we call as disruptive technology. So the question is, what can we do to spur the technological advancement within industry? And we only have 10 years. Can we ever achieve that?
Yes and no. Yes, I would say we're blessed because we have the institutions of higher learning. So you have the minds, I would say, yeah. It takes, I would say, a tripartite to do something like this. You know, you have to have the major OEMs, such as if you want looking into space, the world leader in space, etc. stuff, you need to have the minds of NASA. You know, and then you got to be able to have that funding element, etc. I believe the Chief Minister of Selangor announced that we will have this innovation fund, and it's a start for the state to look into innovation, etc. But it was not just towards aerospace. I would say food security is another key area. You know, now Selangor, we are fighting a crisis right now.
Hi, Jamie. Hello, Jamie. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Yeah, you were mentioning about Selangor is fighting a crisis at the moment just now.
Which is like water. Yes, one of them is water, etc. And definitely on food security, etc. stuff. Now, you're talking about space, etc. stuff. You definitely need to have this ecosystem as well. You need to have food security. You need to have water. You know, so I always feel that, you know, the ecosystem is not just about creating a space shuttle or the SpaceX. It's about the other things as well. How do you retain a planet that doesn't have water or is fully polluted, etc. stuff? You need to be able to grow your food as well on a planet, etc. stuff. So these are, I would say, this innovation is as much as important and needs to be with the ecosystem. You know, so everything that goes into it, etc. stuff is all there. Yeah. So that's the beauty of innovation. Yeah. So you're not just limited on like, I want to build a shuttle, but it's also how you retain and get food and etc. stuff, and, you know, build things lighter, cheaper, faster, you know, build grids and etc. stuff, you know. So that's the beauty about innovation coming in and working at its best. Yeah. Yeah. A good question.
But just wondering, Jamie, yeah, if you look back at the local ecosystem, you can notice that most of the local players or SMEs are just what we call as training centers rather than innovators. So what can we do actually to change the mindset from the training to really deep dive into becoming the manufacturers?
I think it's changing their minds and saying that business needs to, everyday business needs to run, yeah, but innovation needs to be the next whole as well. I believe the federal government as well as the state government is promoting innovation, yeah, and giving grants and such stuff for this innovation. And the greatest model such stuff was how Singapore did it. Singapore had the innovation fund and such stuff. Korea as well, etc. And in terms of automotive, Korea is now ahead, you know, and such stuff, and space as well. So it's just balancing it out and such stuff. Now, I think it's also about another key area is actually keeping communication open. Yeah. I think Malaysia, we have an opportunity is because we are engineers. I would say we are really engineers. We are able to take any business and turn that business to anything.
Understood.
Yeah. Now it's just creating. It's just now creating it where the innovation needs to come in. The universities in Malaysia need to be a little bit open. You know, it's not to say that the way we work in the university needs to change. You know, and allow that innovation to be jointly owned rather than actually the university owned and etc. stuff. You know, giving it back to let the industry take that innovation and market it across and etc. stuff, and taking in all that, increasing the funds, having as a taxation etc. stuff, that will help a lot as well. I think a lot of companies right now are so onto the thing of making money, making business is business, but innovation is also key to it and such stuff. So we are always good at sales and such stuff, but we always think about innovation is going to be next. Yeah. So, but the key point to here is keeping an open mind. You need to have an open mind to innovation. You have to accept innovation as well. I remember when the old days, not long ago, websites, people were.
Hello? 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 Hello, Jamie, are you there? The internet connection is very terrible, ladies and gentlemen. So we'll try to reconnect back with Jamie. Hello? Hello, Jamie, are you still there? Jamie, are you still there? Hello, Jamie, are you still there?
Yes, I'm here. Sorry.
The internet connection is
getting worse and worse.
Yeah, just one last.
Yeah, very, very bad. Yes.
Yeah. One last question from Azrina, actually. So she asked you, would there be any opportunity for the new players with limited funding to come in?
Definitely. We are open to it. We may not have the funds as big as NASA, but definitely we would like to see how we can help you.
Yeah.
The assisting and the lending hand,
Hello? 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 Hello, Jamie. Hello. You're back again.
So definitely we're here to help. We can help you position yourself and such stuff, but definitely in terms of funding, definitely the federal government will be here to support it.
All right.
But let's discuss. We can see what we can do.
So if they want to know more about this, they will have to go to Invest Selangor's website, right? Hello? Hello, Jamie? Hello? Jamie? Hello?
Yes, sir. That's correct. That's correct.
Yeah, so they will go to Invest.
Yes, that's correct. Yes, go to Invest Selangor. Hello? Yes,
hello,
that's
yeah.
right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think the internet connection is very terrible, Jamie. Any last words to the key players out there and how they can come and work together with Selangor? Any last words out there?
Well, thank you. Definitely keep an open mind. Yeah. Tough times, but this is the time to best time to actually do business. Yeah. Anything that we can help you with, let us know. We're here to offer an ear and hand to help out, and definitely we can actually have that connections. We have that connection, so we can actually help you with those things, Don't think bureaucracy is going to help be something to stop you with. I think Selangor were a little bit more different than that. We're open to business. We're open to new ideas and such stuff. Definitely, we have been not the favorite ones to be out there, but we have always been pushing the right businesses. Yeah, so that's it. Okay, but thank you again. My apologies for the internet connection and the hangs, etc. But it's been fun.
Thank you so much, Jamie, for your time.
Right. Thank you. Take care, all. Bye-bye.
Bye.